What is going on, everyone? Astrology Rosen here. Welcome to Celestial Conversations from Chaos to Clarity. This is the weekly astrology horoscope where I talk about the big transits for the week. We are doing this from Wednesday, November 5th until Wednesday the following week of November 12th. Big week this week. We've got Jupiter retrograding in Cancer, Mercury retrograding in Sagittarius, Jupiter's home sign, and even bigger than that, Uranus is finally that planet we've all been waiting for to go back to that old reality for a little bit. As Neptune went back into Pisces, and now it's Uranus going back into Taurus, which started back in 2018. So we're going to get a few more months of this to finish out the icing on the cake of this old reality. Of course, before I get into that, as always, if you want to get your own personal astrology reading to find out how to take advantage, this is that last hurrah if you're going to create the dream in terms of like getting the resources together before the world seems like it's going at blazing fast internet speed that's unheard of, and ETs and societal disruptions and changes, and it can be too hard to keep up with mentally. And if you don't know your role, your place in the world, it could just be a lot of loud parroting, like a parrot, like just repeating things that you've heard because you're not being original. This is about seeding your creations, your dreams. So if you need some help with that astrology coaching container work, 3 to 6 month work, you want to join Higher Self Rising and be in a group coaching container, you can do that. Also, I've had a lot of people asking lately about astrocartography, if I do that. Yes, absolutely. I also do relocation charts to dive deeper, as the icing on the cake is astrocartography. It's sweet, but the real cake, the depth, is the relocation charts of how that all looks. So actually just did a reading with someone on that, and we also dove into the astrology for kiddos too. So just know, for the families out there, you want to find out, look ahead at the evolution of your kiddos, or they're going through that. I feel a deep sense of purpose and resonance around that. So on to the astrology now, shall we? I want to talk about Jupiter retrograde first, because Jupiter tends to flatten our hopes, our ambitions, when it goes retrograde for the 4 months that it's doing it. And so in Cancer, it could feel a little bit depressive on the home front. Now, it can seem a little bit factual too, like it's not going to go good, because Mercury being in Sagittarius, it's saying if I actually nope, things are not expanding, things are not going good. I mean, on the worst front, this could be people, especially because it's Sag Jupiter energy, of like the world at large, of like, well, look, all the Democrats are taking back over, blah, blah, blah. It's like, these retrogrades are teaching us that you need to be looking at your home front. Just get out of the world stuff so much. This is a come back to basics reminder, not being so out there, and be like, how much does it really affect you? And then even if it does affect you, figure it out. Like, figure out your vision for your family, your foundation, your long term. Be thinking about the possibilities of where you could go with your ideas, ones that it could actually be built, dreams that can actually be made, not by waiting for the American dream to be like thrown in our lap from God knows what, but to actually like not chase, blind ambitions, but to actually like be spiritual and actually go into like, what is the world and universe asking me to do from a non-egoic place that you can actually align your free will ego with, to go, yeah, actually that sounds like eustress, the positive form of stress. I would love to do that. That sounds passionate as fuck. And to get deeper into how to build that. That's what these retrogrades are about. We've got 3 months coming this week, starting this week of that Mercury retrograde in Sag, 4 months of Jupiter, and a few months of that Uranus and Taurus. And so that part is reminding us there's resources, there's talents, there's abilities that you could build. You could electrify this life of yours, but do you know how to do it? If you don't, call up a wizard. But it's one of those things that if you're relying on the perfect system, the perfect time, the perfect amount of money, an investment paying off in Scorpio season, maybe it's your crypto or something, you're just like waiting for the perfect moment. It's like, collapsed time right now. It's the North Node in Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and we just had this full moon in Taurus making aspects to that North Node. Like, who cares about time? Who cares about how long it takes? These retrogrades are a gift. They get to honor, and kind of feels like forcing us, but like to go within and think about what is it that we really want to go in terms of our next direction. Because if there's one thing that I've learned when retrogrades happen in Sag, and also Jupiter retrogrades to a degree, it's like you got to slow down and go within and make sure you're not expanding into the wrong direction. Getting 1,000 miles away in the direction that's not actually going to take you to the best adventure of life is not the place to go. So this is a wake-up call to not wait on the world and what the world's doing, to take some fucking risk in your life. Now, are these calculated risks? Sure, but they're calculated spiritually by, can the dream actually be made real? And then is it being built from a place of fear, of trying to fortify it, like Armageddon's coming, Book of Revelations is coming, building a bunker, hoarding, or is it a, yeah, we're all going to, it's like underneath of all this, it's like we're all going to die someday anyway, and so can we face that fear and surrender and actually trust that there's a deeper feminine force at play, especially with where that full moon is at, Gene Key style, of that everything always works out, and it's more solar plexus led. It's a deeper intuitive trust of the nature that everything is one, everything is connected. That doesn't mean just sit on the couch this whole Jupiter Mercury retrograde and don't go out and expand and figure things out and review your life of the things that you could actually be way better, how you could have a better belief system, a better life philosophy, especially based upon experience, like cleaning up any of the negative stuff that actually could be dampening the enthusiasm of the home or like your family life. This is a role modeling time to go. You cannot wait now for a spiritual teacher to do it for you. You cannot wait for the next YouTube, Facebook live video to drop. Like nothing out in the world is like suddenly gonna put on the color of cape that you've been waiting for and give you all the answers. You're gonna have to go in and dig within your own emotional body, know how to clear your emotional body energetically, and to actually find out what is it that you're actually resonating at. Because the nice thing about these retrogrades and how it can connect to like getting into the emotional understanding of where things are going and more into the body and how it keeps the score is going, okay, well, that's more human design-esque of not thinking with the mind so much. So again, we're in transits that are trying to prepare us for a new operating system of the way that we calculate and make decisions in life, and it cannot be based upon the mirage map of the world. No one fucking knows what's going on out there. Do you know why? Because they're scared shitless. They don't know what they're doing because they're trying to hold up the mirage that an old reality is still functioning and that we're okay in terms of the general functioning of the way American democracy works. That's not to get political. That's to say, wake the fuck up, turn the fucking politics off, unless you can actually see behind the veil and detach from it and go, okay, I see what they're doing, but here's what I'm doing in my life. You don't need to convince other people during this time to believe any different. We all have to go into our own personal lives and decide over these at least next 3 weeks, but more likely 4 months, what is it that is resonant to the world that we want to live in and create. It's your co-creative power. This is a highly spiritual time, but also a benefactor time too, of depending on how you're showing up in terms of what it is that you're giving and putting out into the world, what you're opening to receive, your energy, your positivity. This has longer term implications of not only where you're going, but family relationships, that sort of thing. So it can seem like during this time that God's not keeping score, but we are most definitely playing a game. It's just who's dimensionally understanding that we're playing fucking Quidditch from Harry Potter and not football or soccer, you know, where it's okay if we lose, we'll get it next season. I don't want that mentality. I don't want to be thinking about having to do this over again and wait till my next life to do cool, awesome shit. Is that what you want? So I would say this is put up or shut up time. Take some risk, right? Like, you got people counting on you. Okay, those are the conversations to have. You know, you can debate the ethics all day of it, but that's what this is reminding us during these retrogrades, is the personal philosophy part. You know, it's interesting because I'm going to be talking more about that Uranus retrograde in Taurus, because it's a big one. But what I will say is, this brings up again the unpredictability around financial, currency, markets, that sort of thing. The fact that Jupiter and Mercury are going retrograde in Sag, that deals with foreign things, like this could get really dicey and messy in terms of like the broader view of like what's going on economically with currency. And so we have to have a kind of sturdiness, a self-reliance to plant our flag in a very spiritual area that we feel genuinely philosophically guided by in life, that's the story that we want to have. That if we need to move, like this could literally be people making a move right now, like moving homes, but also moving your mind in terms of a focus of where you're putting it at in the universe that feels more beneficial for the long term. Appreciate you all. If you need some support, you need a reading, etc., 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 reach out. Might be some links around this video too. Peace.